Hello, everyone, and welcome to Got Thrones, a Game of Thrones podcast. I am your host, Johnny Kolasinski, and with me, as not just often, but always, is my illustrious co-host, Alexandra August.
Hello, everyone.
We are here in our preparation for Season 3 of House of the Dragons to do a quick discussion on Season 2, Episode 5, Regent. If this is your first time tuning into what we're doing right now, I'm kind of surprised and impressed, but we're doing a crash course in House of the Dragon as we prepare for the new season. A lot happens. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of tragedy. It's a lot of emotional labor. And so we're going to do that so that you don't have to. Early on, as we were doing this, I was making a joke of, so you don't have to watch the show. And it's grown on me so much compared to when I watched it the first time. Okay. So you should watch it. But also, it's a lot of TV, so watch it later.
Yep. It's also heavy, depending on what mood you're in. My aunt, I just finished Game of Thrones down in San Diego, and she was like, I can't wait to start House of the Dragon. And I could not help it. My immediate reaction was like, are you sure?
Oh, can we get Catherine on the round table?
Honestly, I would love to. I kind of told her, I kind of want her to watch A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, because I feel like if she watches Hot Tea, she's going to be turned off from the series. But
yeah,
we'll keep, that'll be another tracking board that we eventually add. It's like, where is Kath in the series?
Where is Kath? How many dragons? Who died? Where's Kath?
Where is Kath?
You can find this podcast on the internet. If you're checking Instagram, it's at Got Thrones. If you're checking TikTok, which Alex, by the way, is doing a great job at, it's at Got_Thrones. And if you're checking YouTube, it's at Got Thrones Podcast, where you won't see our lovely faces, but you will see some lovely captions.
Yeah. This episode marks the start of the second half of season 2. Last episode saw our first major death of the season with Rhaenys and her dragon Meleys, not to mention a bunch of dudes in armor who got baked.
Yeah.
And so the war is definitely afoot, which is where we pick up for Regent.
Yes, everyone has just come back from halftime. We'll see what the coaches had to say in the locker room. But we are getting started. We're going to break it down like we would have done with Game of Thrones on Got Thrones, and break it down location by location, because it's a little bit easier to do that now that things are happening all over.
All over the place.
All over. So we got started in King's Landing, where we saw the dragon Melissa's severed head being paraded around as a victory parade that no one cared for. Amid starving, fearful small folk. Aegon gets carried in a closed-up wagon because he's comatose. Aemond, who knocked him the F out, is named Regent over Alicent, and he shuts the city gates down. I'm going to stick with the shitty city gates. And later he faces Helena's quiet condemnation as Alicent narrowly misses seeing Aegon waking.
At Harrenhal and the Riverlands, Daemon's disturbing visions intensify as he embraces a kingly persona, orders brutal action against House Bracken through the Blackwoods, and is ultimately denounced as a tyrant by the Riverlords after widespread devastation. Again, the men.
At the Eyrie, we meet Lady Jane Eyre, who resents being given only young cat-sized dragons for protection, while Rhaena struggles with her own lack of a dragon and thus being excluded from the war.
At the Twins, our first sight of the Twins, Lady Jace secures House Frey's allegiance and passage for the Northern forces by promising them Harrenhal without Rhaenyra's approval.
Back on Driftmark, Baela persuades her grieving grandfather Corlys to become Rhaenyra's hand, though she refuses his offer to name her his heir, instead insisting that Driftmark should pass to a Valerion.
And at Dragonstone, Rhaenyra begins asserting strategic control by sending agents to King's Landing and Harrenhal, supporting Jace's political instincts, and exploring finding new dragon riders for Vermithor and Silverwing, despite concerns about diluted Valyrian bloodlines. The reason I was like, ugh, the men, is that it's fucking Kristen's idea to run the head of the dragon through King's Landing, where all the small folk watch and they're like, oh, it's just meat, isn't it? It's not a god. Why do we need to be scared of this shit?
Or alternatively, they're like, oh, this is obviously a bad omen.
Yeah, that too. This feels
Either
rude.
that's not a god or, oh no, that was a god.
Yeah, yeah. The small folk are smarter than Kristen. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Melissa's severed head is smarter than Chris. I did you have a top moment from this one?
Um, I really enjoyed Damon failing. I liked him trying to help by splitting the oak, and Alice Rivers being like, "Great job, dummy." Anyway, and then his plans completely failing because he's just not as smart as he thinks he is.
Yeah.
And I also like this moment of discovery. I like the moment of discovery for Rhaenyra when she is like, oh, Rhaenyra being a good leader. Rhaenyra being somebody who, Allison and Otto, as far as I'm concerned, are the only real brains in King's Landing that have the ability to think outside a box and not just do what the men kind of do over there, which is just vie and vie for power. And Rhaenyra, she's able to see things that other people won't see, and she's able to give up a little bit of her, I guess, supremacy in order to raise what would essentially be common-born dragon riders, because she's listen, this is a new day, we got to be thinking in new ways. And then I would say at the Eyrie, Lady Jane Eyre does not disappoint. The Eyrie does not make for happy women. And poor Rhaena. Rhaena just doesn't get the fun jobs. And Lady Erin is upset that her pay came in cat-sized dragons, which, fair. They're adorable, but...
When Vhagar's around, you don't want to be litter training.
You really don't. And also, it seems, I was trying to think why the dragons don't grow as the dance progresses and the dragons eventually die out a little later after the dance. They say that they didn't get bigger. They don't get bigger than like small cats or animals. And I'm guessing that partially has to do with how much they eat. And as we see the small folk reckon with what the idea of the dragons represent, or the idea that the dragons represent and what they mean to them, and also the Targaryens' own diminishing power as these all-powerful dragon lord gods, I wonder if part of it is just a practicality of not being able to not being able to take a bunch of resources from people without...
That's really interesting.
...causing more friction.
Yeah. Because we do see Night of the Seven Kingdoms is post-dragon, essentially. But it's also are the Targaryens weaker because they don't have the dragons, or do they not have the Targaryens not have the dragons because they're weaker? That's really interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way.
How about you? Or did we already
I loved the opening, and anytime Kristen Cole makes a stupid mistake, I'm here for it. Like,
so satisfying.
he thought that this was like gonna be ticker tape.
He thought it was gonna make him feel better.
Like this would be, yeah, it was gonna be VE Day, and he's gonna come into town, and then they're gonna maybe gloss over the comatose king sort of thing. But look, dead dragon.
Not my fault.
We're winning now.
We're winning. Look how big this head is. She's huge.
Yeah.
Why are you so scared?
I loved that. And everything you said about Damon, 100% no notes.
No notes. No notes. I don't know that I'm ever going to have notes for Alice Rivers. Her character development goes from point A to point A because she's already perfect.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems, but she's so great. My goth queen.
Yeah.
Let's go to the boards.
And some controversy.
A little bit of controversy. And going back to hearken to our like real roots, did they really die? What's our dragon count, and
Yeah.
why is it in question? Are they
So
really dead?
we we are sticking with Sunfire is dead. And
Hmm.
so the dragon count is now 14 total, 11 with Rhaenyra's Team Black, and 3 remaining now with Alicent's Team Green. However, we didn't see them die. We just heard that Sunfire is, quote, very long in the dying.
So I think we can just leave it there for now and say it's in question. Yeah, it feels pretty definitive because Kristen says Sunfire was long in the dying.
Hmm.
But it just leaves you to wonder Chekhov's death,
Yeah.
if there's a question to it, is that question there for a reason? Is that point left undefined for a reason? So, I don't know. We all thought Viserion was dead
Hmm.
for like 5 minutes.
And like,
Danny thought Viserion was dead. That's for sure.
at the same time, I can't imagine, even if Team Green holds Rook's Rest, I can't imagine that there haven't been some flyovers saying, "Oh, is Sunfire moving?"
Yeah. But
So,
yeah, in the lore and like in the books or wherever like that they talk, it's really sad because it talks about how basically like Sunfire has to starve to death because I don't think they can kill it with ease. And it's not, I don't think the scorpions are as mobile as the one that like the Lannisters drum up for on a cart. Yeah, so that's our dragon count. Or time passage also is another, is just a day or so maybe.
yeah, yeah. The minute we stop doing that as one of our, if when we move into season 3, uh, we're suddenly going to end up in like they all have
2024.
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Who was introduced? Who do we meet this week?
So we meet Mr. and Mrs. Frey.
They seem nice.
Um, yeah, these are actually these aren't bad Freys. I want to know what happened,
Yeah, they haven't gone to
and we'll
seed
probably find
yet.
out.
Yeah, I know, right?
So get to meet Lady Jane Eyre, who is, as you mentioned, the quintessential Lady of the Eyrie,
Real piece of work.
and then a bunch of Riverland's lords and ladies, but no one that I think we need to care about.
No, they're the ones who come in and say, "You suck, Damon, and we don't bow to you," which I think is mostly their only function, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, we did get an
Get a little
uncomfortable by
romance.
Game of Thrones standards romance.
Yeah, we've seen some incest, but even the Targaryens don't do parental incest. I don't think.
Yeah.
But Damon sure did dream about it.
Yup.
Damon and his mom.
Passed.
Yep.
Pass.
Yep. Wasn't hot. Not
Uh,
hot.
uh, yeah, we this didn't make it into our show notes for a reason. But yeah, in his Alice Rivers induced visions,
Again, don't fuck with Alice
definitely the
Rivers.
sort of thing that you don't want to Google.
Yep. Yep. I can't decide what would be worse if he had to. What is worse, him killing Rhaenyra the child in his dream or sexing his mom? I don't know what Damon considers to be worse. I honestly could not tell you.
Por qué no los dos?
Excellent point, as always, my friend.
Yeah, I would say that killing Rhaenyra, because killing Rhaenyra is admitting defeat.
Good point. Good point.
Killing the child Rhaenyra is admitting the fact that he is subject to her,
Yep. That's a very
as
good
opposed
point.
to just, banging his mom.
Yeah. Which, like, I feel like in a Targaryen family, there's definitely people thinking about it.
And then our deaths. So we already covered Sunfire, question mark, maybe?
And
And
then
then also 80% of the Riverlands,
80% of the Riverlands.
which is a good, honestly, for season 2, It's still a good day for the Riverlands.
It really is a good day for the
They're going
Riverlands.
through it.
Oh, man, it just harkens back to what's his name from A Night of the Seven Kingdom. Being like, please, this is the Reach, not the Riverlands. Calm down. Yeah, I feel like if there was a movie Deliverance set in Westeros, it would have been set in the Riverlands. Don't fuck with the Riverlands, man. Just don't do it. Catelyn was so excited to leave. She graduated and she bounced.
Still shows up, half dead later
Yeah.
in a river.
Yeah. True to form. True to form. True to her namesake.
You can take the girl out of the Riverlands, but you can't take the Riverlands out of the girl.
Literally. Speaking of fixers, who could have fixed this? I think
Damon could have gone home.
Damon could have not been Damon.
Damon could have gone home, not been Damon. Jace is doing a good job.
Jason's doing a great job.
Would it have fixed the episode? No. Would we have had probably 4,300 more phrase? Yes.
Oh, I guess there is a bunch of there is parent to child incest in the phrase in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, because
what's his face across the over the wall starts with a C. Craster.
Craster. That's maybe who I was thinking of. Not because Walder Frey just kills his wives, right? Or he just outlives everybody.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I didn't think of. I don't know. Yeah, Kristen just not. I feel like it was maybe a big move to run that head of the dragon through King's Landing, and maybe if we hadn't done that, things would have. I don't know. Overall approval ratings wouldn't have been in flux. But
Yeah. There might not be more Dragon Riders next episode.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. What about who slayed?
I gave this one to Jace because Jace yeah. Jace did a really good job this week. Jace is a little diplomat. He's strategic and political, and he clears the way for the Greybeards to come down from the north, which something I wanted to call out. We got Tommy Flanagan, which if you watch Sons of Anarchy or have watched pretty much anything else regarding organized crime, Ireland, series on FX, Tommy Flanagan with scars on his face has probably been featured as a resident tough guy. And he continues to do that with his casting in season 3 of House of the Dragon as Lord Dustin, what's his face? Roddy the Ruin, Roderick Dustin, Roddy the Ruin, which he's only ever going to be this type of guy. And it occurred to me, I was like, oh, because they kind of give you earlier in the season, they gave the Starks are like, yeah, we've got Greybeards, but they're Northern Greybeards. And you don't really think about that until I saw that they had cast Tommy Flanagan. I was like, oh, they are going to fuck everybody up. The Northern Lords know how to age with metal. They're 7, like fucking Lady Lyanna Mormont was ready to fucking kill a giant at age 12. Don't count them out. I'm excited to meet those lords.
Yeah. I feel like we're finally going to see the Glasgow of the North.
Yeah. I also they show up the picture of Sir Roderick Dustin, which I didn't watch the trailer closely enough to see if we see much of him, but there's a picture released of it. He already looks tired, but he's also already killing somebody. Spoilers.
Someone dies in season 3 of House of the Dragon. You heard it here first.
Killed by someone named Roddy the Ruin, which to be fair could also be a porn star name as far as I'm concerned.
I was going to go with wrestler, but again, 4K no
4K
Los.
How about for you? Had Jace as well, was your sled?
Yeah, I had Jace. I also had a runner-up was definitely Bela.
Oh yeah.
But I'll speak a little bit more on that in a second. I will say, and if there's a Got Thrones drinking game, who got cut? Johnny says Kristen Cole. Everybody drink.
It's so great.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
You just keep doing worse, Kristen.
Please.
Just
Please.
dig lower.
I so desperately want Andy Cohen to host a reunion, and I want that reunion to include Rhaenyra, Kristen Cole, Alicent Hightower, Larys Strong, and Daemon Targaryen. We'll start there. Lady Jane Eyre maybe can come on for the second part just for 5 minutes. But ooh, yes.
You're missing one. Laenor.
Oh my god. This would be the best reunion, you guys. Oh my god.
Surprise.
Oh my god. Speaking of which, in my other life, I am hosting a bingo watch party for Summer House at a local watering hole on Tuesday. If anybody's in Los Angeles and also shares my predilection for both of these series, I have made hand-baked bingo cards. They are available on Etsy for 5 for sets of 10, 7 for a set of 20, or you can come to this bar and use them for free.
And this bar is?
Tavern on Main in Santa Monica. It is a tavern, and it is on Main Street, and it's right next to the Library Ale House.
Ah.
Don't go there. Go to the tavern. Who is your cut?
Well, my cut was, as always,
Oh,
Kristen.
sorry.
Who was yours?
Daemon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Similarly to Kristen Cole, Daemon just keeps not learning from his mistakes. And keeps just in a really beautiful, deeply satisfying way threw his dick all over the board these past 2 episodes, and it has only not worked. Because Daemon doesn't know how to listen and can't see past the end of his own nose.
And is tripping balls.
Also that. Also that. This entire episode is just, which is so entirely intentional on the part of Alice Rivers. And I don't even know that she has a particular goal. I think she's just doing it to fuck with him because Alice Rivers does what she wants whenever she wants.
We're here for it.
Yep.
You know what? Fine. She's my most valuable parenting.
Oh, wait, she was mine too.
No, she's not. So actually defend it.
No, so, yeah, she was my MVP.
Yeah.
Yep. She just, because her and Renice, man, they know what's up. They know what's going on.
I was going to give it to Bela.
I like
for
that.
Kind of taking Grandpa through it because he needed it.
Ugh. Useless man. He's not useless, but he makes me mad.
No.
Poor guy. Like, do you
Honestly,
want my
he's the
chair?
most useful man still standing.
This is true. This is true. Good call. And then who is your queen of love and beauty?
This is the one I'm giving to Jace.
Aw.
He's living up to a seat that we hope he will have someday when he lives through this.
Yep. I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
Only the Targaryens die, right?
Yeah.
He'll be
He's
fine.
young.
He's got brown hair.
Yeah.
Plot armor. His brother already died. Plot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his dad died.
Yeah, plot armor.
And his dad, finger quote, died. Like,
he's been through enough.
he's been through it. Yeah. So, yeah, we're all here for Jace.
All here for Jace.
Can't wait to see him reign for 80 years.
Yep. In peacetime.
Yeah. Who was yours?
Melise. Because she really, just honestly, the most dignified part of that whole thing was Melise sitting quietly and again doing her job.
Her job being ahead.
Being ahead. I couldn't, it was such a send-off, and I liked the fact that it didn't have I feel like it was Melissa's last laugh. She's, oh, really? Really? You want me to represent your victory throughout King's... Bitch, I didn't hurt any of these people. They like me better than they like you. See ya.
And if you're curious as to how these people react, next episode is called Small Folk.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Especially how they react as they have been locked in a city that is out of food.
And
it's great.
Out of a king. Maybe. A little. And has Kristen Cole in it.
There's a lot to choose from in the way of kings, but yeah, also a lot to choose from in the way of Coles. And I believe that wraps up episode 5.
Yeah, we are rapidly approaching the end of season two and rapidly approaching June 22nd, 2026, and the beginning of season three. And again, like I said last episode, I'm getting excited. I was
Good.
not on the House of the Dragon train, despite the fact that we were dedicating our lives to this for 3 months when we started doing this podcast. And
That's a
I
good
am
podcast
converted.
co-host, friends. That's a really good
Hmm.
podcast co-host. Find you a Johnny Kolazinski and then treat them with respect. Because that we're lucky it's only 18 episodes. I don't know that I could have asked this of everyone. We will be back in probably a week or so with
Yeah.
a couple more episodes on season two. And then ahead of season three, we will be reconnecting with, we'll probably do another roundtable with friends of the pod. And we will also do a catch up to kind of a prep for season three and a get hype for season three, where we talk about all the casting news and the trailers and stuff like that before we get into it, because it does look really exciting. I'm excited. Yeah, it's nice to have Thrones back on Sundays and the summers to look forward to. It's a little nice to have it'll be nice to have a Comic-Con where
Yeah.
Thrones is this prevalent again. And I'm curious to see how
Yeah.
season three is received right now.
I'm yeah, I'm curious about that. I'm also curious to see if there's a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms presence at Comic-Con.
Feels like a missed opportunity if not, but yeah, we'll have to see who's got what money.
But they're gonna be knee deep in hot D. um
Speaking of porn star names,
uh
get
when
a porn.
Comic-Con happens, because it'll be 4 weeks in. It'll be halfway
Yep.
through the season.
Yep.
So my money is actually on all hot D, and we get Knight of the Seven Kingdoms at things like New York.
Good point. I wonder if they'll just have an overall Game of Thrones panel, if it'll just be
They could.
a Song of Ice and Fire or something. Yeah, it feels like a missed opportunity. Yeah, honestly, I'm just curious. I'm curious to see the reception for season three of House of the Dragon versus season one of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, because I think public mood affects what people want to watch. And
Mhm.
the world right now, to me at least, and I know to Johnny, is a big bummer. And as much as I love how this show is beautifully crafted and constructed and well acted and well written in so many ways, and really a wonderful adaptation in so many ways, it is sad. And
Yeah.
sometimes, and when the world is sad, I don't always want to watch. I don't always want to watch sad things. So, well, I'm just curious to see how I will. We will be watching it. I have no choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious to the rest of the population.
Yeah. I would guess that right around 2 weeks from now, as we're recording this end of Memorial Day weekend, 2, 3 weeks from now is when we'll start hearing about Comic-Con panels.
I think. Yep.
Not so much time and dates, but who's going to be the broader list. So yeah, we'll probably get a hint before the season starts. Now that I think about it.
That's be pretty exciting.
Yep. All right. Thank you, folks, for going through this with us, and we will be back to discuss small folk as we often do, because we support the small folk here on
We
this
do.
show.
People.
Yeah, very soon.
All right. Bye, folks.
Bye bye.